Hello, my dear students. Again, you are welcome to my YouTube channel, Literary Chamber. And first of all, I hope you are fit and fine. And same is the case with your host and teacher, Mohammed ISHAQ, PGT English, just speaking before you. So, my dear students, today I am here with a new poem that is titled as An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender. So first of all, let us know about the poet, what is going to be his background and a little bit about his biography. Okay, dear, let us read something here about the poet. Stephen Spender actually was born in 1905 and he died in 1955. He was an English poet and an essayist. He was an English poet and essayist. Again, okay, dear. What do you mean by these two terms? Poet, you know already, one who writes poetry, and essayist means one who writes essays. This is actually a literary genre that we in Urdu literature say insha yanigari. Okay, this is not going to be the essay on wonders of science, etc. As we take it in a narrow sense. Okay, dear. Let us go ahead. And this Stephen Spender is the writer who actually left university college without taking his degree. Why? Because he had a passion. He was filled with a passion for politics and he was very keen about it. So in 1930, he left his university college and went to Berlin. And here in between, I would like to add to your knowledge that in Berlin at that time there was a political upheaval going on, and we can say a political disturbance between Nazis and the others who were opposite to them. And so we can say that there was already a disturbance going on in the Berlin, and if you go through the history of that, what we say Berlin, you will come to know what was going on there. Okay, dear students. So now this Stephen Spender declared himself as a socialist and pacifist. उसने अपने आप को डिक्लेयर किया. He announced, proclaimed that he is a socialist and a pacifist. In what sense he was a socialist? You know, socialist is actually a person who is concerned about the social issues and social problems. जो एक समाजवादी मतलब टाइप का आदमी होता है जिसका मकसद होता है समाज में मतलब दूरियां जो मतलब समाज में जो इनइक्वालिटीज है इनजस्टिस है उसको दूर करना, उसको हम सोशलिस्ट कहते हैं. एंड नेक्स्ट इज पेसिफिस्ट. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय पेसिफिस्ट? पेसिफिस्ट इज एक्चुअली अ पर्सन who tries to soothe the trifles conditions between two groups, and who is we can say in general who is against the war, against the turmoil. Okay, who is called a pacifist, aman parast जिसको हम कहेंगे. Okay, and Stephen Spender has some books in his account here that I would like to mention. One is Poem of Dedication, The Age of Being, The Creative Element, Struggle of Modern, and an autobiography, World Within World. I suggest you to go through this world within world whenever you have time. If not right now, after your examinations, when your examination is over, you go through it. It gives us a knowledge and it broadens our vision. Okay, an elementary school classroom in a slum. Here he has concentrated on social injustice and class inequalities. इस पोएम में जो पोइट है स्टीफन स्पेंडर है, ये दो चीज़ों पे यहाँ पे फोकस करता है. वन इज सोशल इनइक्वालिटीज एंड नंबर टू इज क्लास इनइक्वालिटीज एंड सोशल इनजस्टिस, समाजी नाबराबरी, नाइंसाफी, एंड नेक्स्ट इज क्लास इनइक्वालिटीज. You know, we here just go towards it has a link with Marxism, you know. तो यहाँ पर थोड़ा मार्क्सिज्म की एक मतलब बू इसमें आती है कि जो कार्ल मार्क्स की फिलॉसफी थी, all that was all about it to eradicate the class inequality, class difference and social injustice. Okay, dear. So in that sense, this Stephen Spender was striving for these two causes, social injustice and class inequalities. As you know, according to this Marxist theory, in those very times the society in the society there existed, emerged three classes: lower class, middle class and upper class. Okay, dear. So whatever there were the conditions, the rights, the duties, etc. You know, when we read about so many revolutionists, French, what we say, Russian, etc., तो उन सब में जब हम पढ़ते हैं तो हमारे पास एक इंफॉर्मेशन नॉलेज आ जाती है कि व्हाट वाज एक्चुअली द एम ऑफ दिस कार्ल मार्क्स एट दैट टाइम एज ए political socio-political philosopher. Okay, so let us be brief here. We are not going to read Marxism. It is actually about an elementary school classroom in a slum. So first of all, let us understand the term slum. What is a slum? It is actually an area just adjacent to a city that is densely populated, and in the slum, the living condition is totally unhygienic. It is totally pitiable, bad, where there is no drainage system, where there is no sewage system, where there is no other facilities that can make what we say the area look clean and neat. जैसे कि हम लोग देखते हैं, मतलब एक शहर के बाहर जो वो टेंटों में रहने वाले लोग होते हैं, जिनके पास अपना घर बार नहीं होता है, जिनके पास अपनी ज़मीन जायदाद नहीं होती है, तो मतलब वो जब किसी शहर के मतलब किसी दरिया के किनारे, किसी पुल के नीचे, किसी मतलब एक बस्ती बना लेते हैं, तो इसे यूजुअली दे सिट इन गवर्नमेंट लैंड्स दैट आर व्हाट वी से यूजलेस. तो ऐसे इलाकों में वो बैठा करते हैं. तो फिर जब उनकी हम हाइजीनिक कंडीशन मतलब देख लेते हैं, तो दैट इज़ वेरी पिटिएबल, दैट इज़ वेरी बैड. So that is the point that the poet wants here to discuss. Stephen Spender wants us to convey as the message that what sort of results are there when the social injustice and class inequalities prevail in the world. We can say one section of the society is living a high standard life, and one more section is living a normal life, that are middle class people, and one class is who have totally what we say pitiable, and we can say they are at the mercy of God. वो खुदा के रहम करम पर रहते हैं, उनके पास कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं होती है. That is actually the concern of the poet here in this poem. Okay, let us be brief about now, and at the end we shall conclude it again in this way. Okay, so the poet here is going to mention about a classroom in a slum, a school classroom in a slum. And first of all, he describes the condition of the children there. How do they look like? वो कैसे दिखते हैं? सबसे पहले शायर उनकी हालत बता देता है. अगर हम पहले ही स्टैंजा को पढ़ेंगे तो the very opening line is far far from gusty waves these children's faces. कहीं कोसों दूर, far far from the gusty waves. Gusty means मतलब strong blowing, strongly blowing, that are blowing in a strong manner. Okay. These children's faces, although they are far far from those gusty waves, but even then their faces are like rootless weeds. अगर उनके सामने तूफान नहीं चल रहा है, but even then they seem to be like rootless what we say weeds. Rootless weeds means वो plant, वो weeds जिनके roots खत्म हो गए, यानी जब तूफान उखाड़ देता है एक प्लांट को, तो the condition is here like that. Okay. Then other physical attributes are described here by the poet, like the hair torn round their pallor, unke is pallor means actually this pale face. It is exhibiting the condition of their face, what is going to be the facial expression. It is their physical condition, we can say health condition, that has made their faces pale. And all this first stanza is going to express the physical outlook of these children. There is one mention of a girl who is long but very thin and lean, and there is a boy whose father is what we say very very sick, and he has some narrow type of disease, naughty type of disease. And this boy, while being in the class, is just imagining about a careless game, and all this is told in the very first stanza. Okay, what is next? Okay, dear students, let us go to stanza number 2. The poet here says, on sour cream walls donations. What does it mean? It means on the walls of those that very classroom in a slum, that the walls actually are described here sour cream walls. That are sour means unpleasant, where the painting is totally unpleasant. That is shabby type. We can say very what we say faded position. तो जिसकी खस्ता हाली यहाँ पर बताई जाती है. Donations. Donations, you know what sort of donations? It means here gifts. Some gifts are there on the walls. People have gifted to it. Or either we can say students. Sometimes students bring some type of painting, some type of artwork, and they paste it on the walls of classroom. Okay. Shakespeare's head. One gift is there, that is the head of picture. We can say picture of Shakespeare, and from here just only head, exhibiting head. Okay. And next is what we say, cloudless at dawn, civilized dawn riding all cities. And we say this Shakespeare's head, it is cloudless at dawn. यानी लगता है कि डॉन मतलब जो है सुबह का वक्त जो है, मतलब तड़का जिसको हम कहते हैं, सुबह सवेरा जिसको हम कहते हैं, तो हाँ इस मंजर में जो ये शेक्सपियर का हेड है, इस मतलब इस सुबह के मंजर में ये लगता है क्लाउडलेस, मैंने इसके चेहरे के इर्द गिर्द या सिर के ऊपर कोई बादल नहीं मंडरा रहे, टोटली क्लियर. Civilized dome riding all cities. Civilized dome means that are the institutions of a civilized what we say society. So civilized society, and these are riding all the cities. Civilized dome riding all cities. Belt, flowery, Tyrolis valley. Then there is mention of a valley that is called Tyrolis. That is actually in Austria, if you find out its background. Open-handed map awarding the world its world. And then there is one open-handed map. Open-handed map means, okay dear students, open-handed map means the map that is created by any dictator. The open-handed map means that has been created by any dictator and who only divides the world in parts, in sections. That is the phrase that means giving world its world. Dunya ko apni dunya dena means that he is dividing the world into different parts, and he is going to create so many worlds here. Children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their future is painted with a fog. तो हाँ ये बच्चे जो है इनकी क्या हालत है, all their future is here painted with a fog. उनका जो future है मुस्तकबिल वो धुंधलाया हुआ दिखता है. That is totally we can say dark. Okay. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far from rivers, capes and stars of words. And then there is a narrow street that is sealed with a lead sky. We can say what is meant by this lead sky. That is actually blushing grey sky. Blushing grey sky, bluish grey sky, bluish grey sky, and far from rivers, capes and stars of words. And it is actually this street is far from, very far from rivers, capes means a part of highland. Okay dear. Now let us go briefly to the next sentence and then to the end and conclude the poem. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with the ships and sun and love and tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night. On their slag heap these children were sickened, peeped through by bones and spectacle steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stone. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as dome. Okay dear students, in this stanza we are just seeing, when we read this thoroughly, so it is what we say ironical in tone. Ironical in tone means Shakespeare is wicked. Why he is wicked? If he is a what we say famous writer, he is a great writer, great dramatist, poet, why he is wicked? Wicked का मतलब है बज्जात. And what we add, the map bad example. जो map वहाँ पर दिखाया गया है, open-handed map अभी हमने पढ़ा, तो that is a bad example. The picture of Shakespeare is bad example in this what we say class. Why? The condition of students is very pitiable, that is very bad, and these gifts and the pictures, the artworks are not matching to their physical standard or not their hygienic standard. This is the what we say concept of that the poet wants to give us here. Okay, now let us move ahead. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break, open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold stands, and let their tongues run naked into books, and the white and green leaves open history theirs whose language is the sun. तो एंडिंग स्टेंजा जो है, दिस इज एक्चुअली the poet here wants us to say, unless condition, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window. So unless the situation is made in such a way, unless the steps are taken in such a way by the authorities, governor, inspector, visitor, and this map becomes their window, ये मैप उनके लिए एक विंडो बन जाती है, यानी उनकी नज़र मतलब खोल देती है. And these windows that shed upon their lives like catacombs, and जो ये अभी मतलब विंडोज है, जो उन पे अभी मतलब हम कह सकते हैं कि जो उनके क्लासरूम की अभी की विंडोज है, they shed upon their lives just like catacombs means underground graves. वो उनकी जिंदगी को ऐसे कैद करके रखती है जैसे मुर्दे को एक कब्र कैद करके रखती है, फिर बाहर नहीं आने देती है. Their life is totally confined, and the houses they are living in, that is very confined, and the windows of their houses as well are confining them to what we say inside, and they can't look outside what is going to be the world outside, because the population is totally dense and very very close. There is no gap between these shelters. So in that sense these windows are just like catacombs. Break, oh break, open till they break the town. और जब तक ये बच्चे मतलब ये रहने वाले लोग जब तक ये ओपन है, जब तक ये टिल दे ब्रेक द टाउन, जब तक ये टाउन को ब्रेक नहीं करते हैं. एंड शो द चिल्ड्रन टू ग्रीन फील्ड्स, यानी जब तक इन बच्चों को सरसब्ज खेत में नहीं लिया जाता है, मैदानों में लिया जाता है. मेक देयर वर्ल्ड रन एश्योर ऑन गोल्ड सैंड्स, जब तक इनके मतलब इनकी जो दुनिया है, अनलेस एंड अनटिल दैट इज मेड रन एश्योर means what we say sky like on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, and इनकी जो मतलब tongues है, let them be naked, let them be naked, run naked into books means वो खुली जबान से किताबों को पढ़े. They should not be confined, they should not be pressurized. The white and the green leaves open history theirs whose language is the sun. और ये मतलब जो वाइट एंड ग्रीन लीव्स है, ओपन हिस्ट्री देयर्स, ये उनकी हिस्ट्री बता देती है, हुज लैंग्वेज इज द सन, जिनकी लैंग्वेज सन है, जिनकी लैंग्वेज सन है. ऑल टुगेदर द पोएम इज एट वंस a natural one. It is going to depict the natural imagery here, and at the same time it is philosophical in its theme, because it is going to give a sharp contrast between the living condition, the living standard of high class society and low class society, middle class society, and that is depicted in the what we say tale of these children who are studying in the slum, what we say in a school classroom in slum. What is going there? If you Google search and try to find out the images of these schools in a slum, and you would better understand how that is going to be like. So this is the theme of the poem is here going to present a condition of these slum dwellers that is very very bad and pitiable. I would like to go back to that very lesson, that is Lost Spring, Simapuri, Firozabad, this what we say where these Bengal industries exist. So what is the writer that wants to say the same condition as it is told by Stephen Spender here. So the locale only changes, and we say the theme is same. Okay, dear students, I hope you would have got it. If there is any sort of query, you may please inbox me, and at the end of the this lecture, last but not least, you should follow me, subscribe my channel, and you should share it with others so that they are also benefit. Okay, thank you, goodbye.